Hi, my name is California State Assembly Member Mark Fuhr of the 42nd District of California, located in Los Angeles. I'm talking to you from my Sacramento legislative offices today to support Los Angeles ordinance banning super graphics and digital billboards. First off, I'd like to applaud Los Angeles's move to prioritize citizen safety. As many of the other presenters have noted today, there are a lot of potential safety hazards of super graphics and digital billboards. And I'm proud to come from a community that's putting the safety of its citizens ahead of the interests of big lobbying groups and corporations. Prompt action to ensure safety is part of the duty of elected officials, and this body is fulfilling that duty today. One of the reasons why swift action is necessary is that such action might save taxpayers money and potential takings compensations. In addition to the many safety issues that people have already talked about today, there could be significant financial liability if this ordinance does not move forward. Any billboard that's erected before billboard regulations are put in place will be grandfathered in under the existing billboard law. And so what that means is that in the future, if any further safety hazards are found and it's decided that those billboards need to be taken down, any billboard that was erected under the old law, the city is going to have to compensate the billboard's owners for the value of the billboard under state and federal takings clause law. So the fewer billboards that are grandfathered in, the less potential liability the taxpayers may face in the future. Additionally, I would like to strongly encourage the city to commit more funding to enforcement. Right now, Los Angeles has just 6 sign inspectors for 468 square miles. And that's simply not adequate to properly enforce such a sweeping ban on digital billboards and super graphics. My proposed legislation at the state level, AB 109, will help out with that a little bit. It will put a 2-year ban on digital billboards everywhere in California, and it will bring any violators of that ban under the purview of the Attorney General. So the Attorney General will be able to help out Los Angeles with enforcement power and regulation. Local communities will still have the option to take the lead on enforcement when it comes to digital billboards, but there will be that extra support there. In addition, the Attorney General's office will be able to gain some expertise in the legal strategies of enforcement, and so that will take some of the burden off of attorneys in the city's office. But at the end of the day, the sweeping legislation that you're considering today, especially because it goes above and beyond what AB 109 is proposing, is only going to be successful if there's proper support in place for regulation. So I would strongly urge the City Council to devote additional funds to billboard regulation if you decide to pass this ordinance today. Again, I just want to reiterate that any state law regarding billboards, including AB 109 or any future legislation, is just going to set a baseline for billboard regulation. Cities will still be free to go above and beyond, and I highly encourage the ordinance today, which is going above and beyond the sort of state baseline that we're setting for regulation. Should this ordinance pass, Los Angeles is going to serve as a prime testing ground for billboard regulation. The rest of the state's going to be looking to Los Angeles to see how billboard regulation might affect the community. So the effects on safety, the enforcement issues, and the economic impacts are all going to be important barometers that the rest of the state is going to be looking at. And I really applaud Los Angeles for being a pioneer in billboard regulation. If this regulation is approved, I will propose a state-funded study to analyze the many potential impacts of billboard regulation. The study will be incredibly useful as the state legislature moves forward, and thus this ordinance is an important first step in billboard regulation in California. I would also, on a different note, like to caution the City Council to pay attention to upcoming federal studies and re-review the policies that are putting in place once those federal studies are released. There's 2 federal studies that will be coming out in the next year and a half that will directly address the effects of digital billboards and super graphics on drivers. And if it turns out that there's less of a safety risk there than we currently anticipate, I would highly recommend that the City Council take another look at this ordinance and see if it's still serving the city's needs. It's entirely possible that this ordinance, even if there's no safety effect on drivers, is still a necessary regulation in the Los Angeles community. But as this body well knows, the public is best served by well-informed decision making. And while it is very necessary to act swiftly right now for both safety reasons and potential financial liability reasons, we still must constantly consider whether our decisions are making sense as our understanding of these issues develop. Again, I fully support this ordinance. I urge the City Council to enact it this evening, and I look forward to partnering with Los Angeles City Council and working from a state perspective to replicate the efforts of what the City Council is doing locally here tonight. Thank you very much.